Hello guys, welcome to another session. In this session, we are going to look into ForEach method. So let's jump into the Visual Studio Code to understand the usage of ForEach method. So after last session, you have understand the difference between functions versus method. So in this session, we are going to use one of the arrays method that is called ForEach to do this exercise. So let me give you the brief about what actually we are going to do in this session. So far whatever we have done and printed into the console.log. We haven't done any kind of output displaying on the HTML page. Whatever we are displaying on console.log. So that is not the right way. That is good for designing the logic, but at the end of the day, we have to create the application which will be presented on web pages. So to understand the for each method concept, what we are going to do, we are going to use the same example which we have used earlier, where we have an array called fruit bowl and we were converting it into the uppercase. Now what we will do in this exercise, we will retrieve all the elements one by one and we will convert those elements into uppercase, and then we will display it into a HTML page using UL and LI tag. So that means we can create the dynamic HTML code that we will generate with the help of JavaScript, and we can dynamically bind the output of that particular dynamically generated code with the web page. So let's start writing the program. So first what we will do, we will go to the index.html page, and there we will create a class within UL element that we can retrieve within the program using query selector. Don't confuse about query selector, that we are going to discuss when we will discuss about DOM element, which will come further in this course. So now let's jump into the index.html, and here what we will do, we will introduce a UL element that we are going to select, and within that we will tell that the class name, and the class is fruit ball, and here we will close it, save it. Now let's jump into the JS file and we will start writing. So what we will do, first we will grab the UL reference which we have created now. So we will tell that const ul equal to document.querySelector, and the thing which we are selecting is the fruit ball. So here we will specify fruit ball which we have created over here just now. So what it will do, it will grab this UL tag using the class name. Now next step what we will do, we will proceed further and create the HTML. So what we need to do, we need to specify let HTML. We need to define a header element in a template string. So we need to tell that h1, and within that we will specify fruit ball. Let's do some formatting over here. We will tell that style equal to color. We want color should be blue. We have defined the style over here. Save it. Now let's proceed further. The next step what we will do, we will access each of the element which is existing over here, and then we will create the LIL. So let's do it. How we can do that? So now we will access the fruit ball, and there is a method which is being given called ForEach. With the help of that, we can iterate through each of the elements. So if you remember, we are having, this is going to be the fruit, is going to be the local variable. This is, here I am defining the callback function. If you remember the concept of callback function, so this is the same callback function we are going to define over here with the help of arrow function, and within that we will access each of the element and do the formatting however we want to do. So what we will do, we will take the HTML, this variable which we have created, and we will append it. How we will append it? Plus equal to, and here within that we will specify li, and within that we will provide the style, and we want that each element should be green while printing, and then afterwards we will tell that the dynamic value. How we can access the dynamic value? Dollar curly braces, and within that fruit which we have defined over here, this fruit dot make it to uppercase with the help of this method. Now we will close it. Now we will close this li. So we have closed the li. Now save it, and once it is being saved, now let's log this so that we can understand that what it has generated over there. Log, and we will print the HTML, the code which is being generated, and then we can bind it with the help of inner HTML, and we will assign the HTML which we have generated. Save it. Now let's jump into the browser to see the output, and see here we have dynamically added this li element into our web page, and which is inside the UL element. We can see what the code we have generated by pressing F12. So it will open the console, and when you go inside the console, then you will find that we have generated first this h1 tag, and within that first this h1 tag, and after that we have the li elements. So how many number of elements exist? It has generated those number of li tag, and at last what it did, it binded this html to the ul element, and that ul element which we have selected through the query selector. So this way you can use the for each method, which is coming very handy whenever we are iterating something and we want to generate some dynamic code on top of some array. Then it is very handy function. So this is what I wanted to demonstrate you in this session. So on this note, I am stopping over here. See you in the next session. Till then, bye bye, take care.